What's up, everybody? I know you're probably watching this video thinking, ugh, another Hoover Elite. Doesn't he have too many of those? Well, I say I don't even have enough. That's what it is being a vacuum collector. You get a lot of vacuums coming in by the truckload, at least as much as your budget can allow. And every so often you come across these very good deals. And that's the case with this one. Here I have a Hoover Elite Supreme. This is the second Elite Supreme that I have in my collection. I already have another model, but that's the slightly newer version. I will link the video to that one in the description box. I came across this one on Facebook Marketplace for only $10. I thought $10. At first I thought something's got to give. Because if you see something that's sold for that cheap, there's bound to be something wrong with it. And pretty sure enough, when I got it, the only thing that was wrong with it was a broken belt. Which I honestly feel like that was the main reason why this thing was being sold in the first place. But luckily, if any of you know how to change a vacuum belt, it's pretty simple to do on these. Just pop the bottom plate, pop off the hood, and then you got access to the belt. While I was in there, I also changed out the headlight because it was blown out. And I also had to tighten down the left motor mount because for whatever reason it was loose when I got it. I can't believe I didn't notice that before I turned it on. But anyway, now that it's all fixed and now this thing's ready to go and be another good addition to my vacuum collection. So anyway, this is the older version of the Elite Supreme because it has a much different style hard outer bag than my other Elite Supreme does, because it's kind of squared off at the top, whereas the later one's kind of a little bit curved at the top. For whatever reason, what really gets me is there is no vent holes up top to vent out the outer bag, which I don't understand why. I'm thinking it's because this is actually a blank slot for if they were to put an air freshener on this, which some Elite models do come with. Another thing I do like about this one is the color of it. It's kind of this unique seafoam green color, which kind of is like another Hoover Elite that I have, my soft bag Elite Energy Efficient, which essentially is the same vacuum as this one except with a soft bag. Which the only difference between the regular Elite and the Supreme is the Supreme is a hard bag model, which I like the hard bag models better, because I think it could be because I grew up with more of these than the soft bag ones. But when I was a kid, I hated the soft bag models because when you turn it on and dust poofs back in the air, which part of that has to do with the poor filtration on the bags. And speaking of bag, there's this right here. Any bagged vacuum that joins my collection will have a HEPA bag upgrade, which is the case with this. HEPA Type A, genuine Hoover. I would like to point that out. So you can see the Hoover symbol on the back there. These are not easy to come by, I will tell you that. And I believe Hoover actually discontinued production of the genuine Type A HEPA bags, which is deeply frustrating because now it gets people to revert back to the genuine paper bags or those cheapos you can buy at Walmart that don't filter for jack. But anyway, I always like to do the HEPA bag upgrade. There are some generic companies that do supply HEPA Type A's. You can run Type Y's in these, but the Type Y's are too small for how large of a bag compartment this is. But you will still get great filtration. So anyway, let's go ahead and move down here. Typical Elite, you have 4-position height adjustment. And this carpet height selector I do like isn't loose compared to the other Elites that I have in the collection. It's very tight. I always leave it in the middle for the pile of this carpet. It uses only 7.2 amps. It's got brushed edge cleaning on both sides. It's got the cleaning effectiveness per amp rated at 17. This is Hoover's famous marketing technique back then to make these higher end models look pretty on the shelf. Hoover lettering right there. Small little Hoover symbol up here. So now let's go ahead and flip it down to show you the underside. This is its original brush roll. It's a chevron style with pretty stiff bristles, which this thing has great agitation, which honestly is what makes these Elites so powerful. The brush roll, and also the fact that this is a direct air motor, meaning all the suction that goes from here goes through a fan and then blows into the bag, which the upside to that is you get much more airflow, but the only downfall is, being that it's direct air, is it produces more airflow than it does suction, which unfortunately that doesn't come well into play when you're using the tools, which, by the way, here are the tools. These are all the original tools, which is amazing. For 10 bucks, I got all the tools with it. And here's the extension wand. This is the older end style Elite, where the tools were gray instead of black. It does have the side mount hose, which that's how it detaches from the vacuum. Ugh. Sometimes it's not very easy to get back on. Okay, now move on to the back here. You have your dusting brush, your crevice tool, and also your upholstery tool. What really intrigues me about this vacuum is that this is, like I said, it's one of the this tool. There it goes. Yeah, these clamps are pretty tight. But this is, like I said, one of the gray body Elites. This is the last of the gray bodies. I would like to point that out. It's even the last ones that had the gray cord, which this one is fairly long. It's got to at least be 30 feet. You have your side mount switch right here, which is actually a plastic rod that runs down into the valley of the motor where the main rocker switch is. I learned that Hoover actually did this mostly to cut cost, because it's easier to make plastic than copper. So, anyway, let's go ahead and show you the model number down here. Hoover model U5043-930. 120 volts, 60 hertz, 7.2 amps. And for household use only, made in the USA. That's the best part about these old Hoovers, is that they're American made, which you will never find any Hoover cleaner that's American made these days. Everything only comes from China. And here's the serial date. I will tell you, to date these Hoovers, or at least the older ones, at least mid-80s to, I want to say at least to the early 2010s. To serial date these, the first 4 digits decode the month and the year. The first 2 is the month. 3rd and 4th is the year. So 0993, so September of 1993, which a nice giveaway that this is a 93 is that it's the gray body one, which I have its soft bag equivalent, which is a 94, but that one has the black body, So 94 was the year when they moved to the black body, but still kept the gray attachments and gray cord up until 95. So kind of interesting. Yeah, and unlike my other Supreme, it doesn't have the deluxe handle grip, which is not really a big deal. It just makes it a little bit more comfortable if you have giant hands like me. So anyway, let's go ahead and release the cord here. The top cord hook's not loose. This thing is in very good condition for its age and the price range I ended up picking this thing up for. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug this guy in. And now I'm gonna go ahead and turn this thing on and demo it for you guys. Now, typical Elite fashion, these things are pretty loud, but that's their nature. I mean, you could pretty much do everything you can to not make it as noisy, but that's just the way they're designed. It's probably from the abusive use of plastic, and I say abusive, but the reason why Hoover did this was to make the machine lightweight, which it definitely is, which is what made these so popular. They were powerful but lightweight. So anyway, let's go ahead and give it a go. before I end the video, as usual, let's go ahead and give you a demo of the attachments. See, the hose just simply pulls out like that. Flip up this little lid down here, and it pops in like so. Because this is a direct air machine, do not expect miracle suction, which kind of was the downfall of these machines, but they're still fairly decent machines back in their day. You can pull out your extension one. Dusting brush. Crevice tool. And lastly, your upholstery tool. All right, let's go ahead and snap that back. Everything back on the rack. And just like so. Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this video on the second Hoover Elite Supreme. Be sure and stay tuned, and don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.